Yes. Hello. Welcome to yet another pirate broadcast. Oh wait, my camera, dude. Hold on, I forgot to set up my camera. Yeah, I forgot, dude. All these steps, right? So many steps. What does it look like? Does it look alright? Looks alright? That's alright. Hey, what's up? Let me turn this down a bit. Alright. So yeah, hey, welcome. Welcome to yet another pirate episode, yo. My name is PoGokeRo. I'm here to guide you through the know and the know not into the land of the knowing. the aware. Gotta be aware. Gotta have that consciousness. So yeah, let's begin. First, let me get out of the rain here. Okay. So first on the list, I want to talk about. Oh man, I lost it. There's been so much, right? There's so much going on. All right. Roger Stone had a second day of trial. So Roger Stone is a super bad guy. Roger Stone has a tattoo of Richard Nixon tattooed on his back in between his shoulder blades. I'm not kidding you. He has Richard Nixon tattooed on his back because that guy loves Richard Nixon. So why? I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, he loves Richard Nixon. So Roger Stone is part of the 2016 Russian campaign to steal the elections. He's part of that. Now, the way a conspiracy works is that not all the parts are aware of all the other parts. In fact, that's the whole point of a conspiracy, is that you don't want the parts to know each other. Because if you can keep them like not knowing, then it's safer for your conspiracy. Like if you only know this guy here and then that guy there, and that's all you know, that's like the best place to be in a conspiracy. Because like if they nab you, there's only two guys you can tell on. So you can't give out the whole conspiracy. So Roger Stone is part of the Russian conspiracy to overthrow the American elections in 2016. The thing is that Roger Stone, I don't know if he actually worked with the Russians or if he knew he was working with the Russians. I don't know. But what I do know is that he worked in contact with WikiLeaks. And WikiLeaks is working with the Russians. WikiLeaks also had contact with the Russian hacker known as Guccifer 2.0. But Guccifer 2.0 is actually the name for a Russian military cyber force. Their cyber group. They have the GRU, which is the Russian. It's like the KGB, basically. It's like the CIA of Russia. They say the GRU, and the GRU has their cyber force, just like the Americans have their cyber force, and yeah, and their operatives, their officers, because they were identified by name. They were indicted. Robert Mueller indicted them, but they acted together as one. They pretended to be Guccifer 2.0. And I think Roger Stone talked with Guccifer 2.0. So if that is the case, that means the Russians were talking directly to Roger Stone. But it doesn't matter because Roger Stone was talking to WikiLeaks and coordinating with WikiLeaks to release information at stolen information. Basically, it's stolen information. He coordinated that timing with WikiLeaks and members of the Trump campaign. So this is all highly illegal. You can't be doing this. And well, it shows that he lied. He lied to the FBI about all sorts of stuff. So he's a big fat liar, and he's a traitor, and he's getting his day in court. So that's good. That's good. But here's the funny thing, though. Okay, so that's going along. That's rolling along. But I had a nice conversation today with a well, I'll call him a boomer. Your typical boomer on Facebook. Uh, uh, this guy is like, the boomer age, and he's an ardent Trump supporter. And anything I showed him, doesn't matter what it was, I showed him. I gave him the transcripts that were released by the House Intelligence Committee. I gave him a link to the House Intelligence Committee website, government website, to get the transcripts directly, and he called it fake. So I think that's part of the Trump derangement syndrome. What they're in is that they can't really discern reality. Like if something doesn't fit, that they were given a narrative from their authority, which is Trump. And so if the information they receive doesn't match the narrative given by Trump, then they reject it as fake. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be true, but it doesn't matter because its veracity doesn't matter. What matters is if it comes from Trump. So this guy is in full mode. He was fully on board. If it doesn't come from Trump, it's not real. So, yeah, that's a little crazy, right? I think that's crazy. I think it's crazy because if you can't discern reality, if your reality only comes from one man, one source, you're going to get messed up by the world. Like for real. Like why do you think creatures have senses? Like senses aren't free. There's no sense fairy that comes along and bestows sight upon you, or it's like, ding, you have hearing now. No, dude, that had to be evolved. That had to be evolved. Nature had to make that from nothing. It had to be selected for. So, what does that? So, what do you mean? What does a sense? What kind of benefit does a sense bestow upon an organism that would take the time and energy to make this thing called a sense organ? Well, the sense organ makes you more aware of your surroundings, and most importantly, it makes you aware of if you're a prey, it makes you aware of danger coming, right? So you can hear danger coming. Or if you're a hunter, you can hear your prey. You can hear what you're hunting. You can hear it and locate it. So it makes you better. Senses make you better suited to your environment. And if you're not well suited to your environment, you die. That's the way it is, right? Nature is red in tooth and claw. If you're not suited to your environment, you'll die. Like if you're a mouse that can't hear, you're gonna get pounced upon by a cat that can hear. If you're a cat who can't see, you're gonna starve to death because you can't go hunt your prey. You're just gonna die because you can't eat. Maybe you can hunt by hearing, but I don't know. Cats are primarily eye focused. So that's the way it is. So this gentleman, this boomer, is fully indoctrinated into the cult. He only gets information from his cult source of his cult fixation. That's the only place he gets his information, is cult fixation, where he's fixated upon. So that's bad because the environment is going to wreck him. It doesn't matter how much Trump says, there's land there. If there's a big cliff and you try to walk on it, you're gonna fall down. Gravity will take hold of you. You can believe Trump all you want, but you're gonna fall to your death. The world, there's an objective reality out there. There's objective truth. No matter what Trump says, there's objective truth. You cannot get around it. And that's what irks fascists, because fascists, hate this idea of objective truth. They want truth to only be power. Because they generally have the most power. So they want all truth, everything, to be reduced to power. Which is why you can't reason with them. Fern. You can't reason with a fascist. They're insane. They're just insane. They're insane. So yeah, I was tossing out this great information, this really good information. And the fascist, the boomer guy, I was talking to. He like his programming wouldn't let him take it in, and so he attacked. I mean, because that's what they do. They attack, and yeah. But I mean, that's just whatever. It doesn't mean anything to me. He can't. There's nothing he can say that'll hurt me. Like it's just dumb. It's just stupid. But what's gonna happen is Trump is gonna get removed from office, and when that happens, Trump is going to not move. He's not gonna leave willingly. He will not leave. It doesn't matter if he loses by election. He's not leaving. It doesn't matter if he's impeached and removed. He's not leaving. He's not leaving. And what he's gonna do is call to his cult. These guys. This guy I talked to. This 50-year-old guy, 60-year-old guy, white guy, who only gets his information from his cult leader. And the cult leader is going to say, "Rise up and attack those other people." And because all the truth comes from him, that's what he's going to do it. He's going to do it because he's going to believe that he's invincible because his cult leader tells him. So when he starts getting shot and hurt, and reality comes in, like he's going to be ill-suited to survive. Because his sense of reality is not valid anymore. He's going to be ill-suited to survive. He's going to be selected against. So Roger Stone was in trial. The defense lawyer for Roger Stone said that it doesn't matter what any of the evidence says. The only thing that matters is Roger Stone's state of mind. And if Roger Stone didn't believe he was lying, then Roger Stone wasn't lying, was he? That's what the defense says. So he could tell you all these things, but if you believe them, then he's not lying. So then the prosecution comes and says, "Okay, we know that you know that you're lying because you took these actions to cover up what you were doing. If you were honest about what you were doing, you wouldn't have to take these actions to cover up. You wouldn't have done these. You wouldn't try to cover it up if you believed it to be true, and no big deal. But because you took all these special actions to cover it up, and you wrote these emails to your co-conspirators to help cover it up, we know you're lying, and we know you're lying, and we can prove it." So Roger Stone's going to go to prison. Roger Stone, like Paul Manafort, believe that Trump will win and that he will pardon them for their loyalty. Well, Manafort had no choice. I mean, he had a choice. He could have flipped. He could have flipped on Trump and ratted out Trump and the whole organization. But the problem is, Manafort is deep in the Russian mob scene. And he owes Russian mob money. He owes them money. So if he flips on their asset and rats them out and tries to walk away a free man, they're going to kill him. You don't leave the Russian mob. So what's up? So Roger Stone, I think Roger Stone's a true believer. I mean, geez, anyone who puts a tattoo of Richard Nixon on their back, I mean, that guy something's not right with him. But he's all in on the conspiracy too. He's totally in on it. So he lied, and he took actions to cover up his lie, which he wouldn't have taken if he didn't know he was lying. But he knew he was lying. That's why he did it. So Roger Stone is just one more cog in the wheel. We're gonna get to see a bunch of the stuff that was redacted in the Mueller report. Like, it was redacted because it was harm to ongoing matters, and one of them was Roger Stone's trial. You can't give out the the evidence of the trial before the trial. So that's what makes it so funny when all the Nazis are like, oh, if you think Trump is so guilty, why don't you show the proof? Why don't they show the proof? Because it's not the trial yet, you idiot. But that's the thing about Nazis. They don't use the word in good faith. Nazis will speak in bad faith. They use the word to manipulate and gain power. That's all they care about. They don't speak the truth. They abuse the word. I mean, the difference between a bad faith argument and a good faith argument. A good faith argument means you're really trying. Like, I'm trying to get you to see, and use reason to come to common ground. I'm really trying to, I don't necessarily agree with you, but I think we can, reach to a common ground. Whereas a bad faith argument is like, you know what? I know you're trying to get to common ground. I don't care. I'm going to mess with you just to see how far I can pull you off course. That's all I want to do is pull you off course. So I'll pretend that I'm oh yeah, sure. Okay, I can see what you're talking about. Sure. But every time I'll be like, nah, it's a bunch of bullshit. You're lying to me. Every time. I'll do it every time because I'm a bad faith. See, that's bad faith. That's bad faith argument compared to good faith arguments. Yeah. Nazis are all about bad faith arguments. They don't actually care about the truth. The truth is actually the enemy for the Nazis. Nazis can't handle the truth. So we have this perfectly reasonable due process going along. But the criminals are all crying about whatever they can. You can ask them questions like, oh, why doesn't Trump just come and speak under oath and answer some questions? No, never comes into their question. They will never do that because that will get to the root of the matter and the truth will come out. They don't want that. The Nazis are doing everything they can to hide the truth. So what they try to do is confuse you. They try to muddy the waters. They try to add all this extra stuff that doesn't even matter, and just to try to get you to go off course. Remember the whole nonsense about secret witnesses? They're not letting us see what this. They're doing this trial in secret. They said this, the GOP said this, Republicans said this, while they had members in the trial or in the committee. They had people sitting there watching it, GOP, and then coming out and saying, oh, yeah, they're keeping it a secret. Man, you're there. What are you talking about? They're keeping it a secret. You hear everything they're hearing? Oh, man. See what I mean? Bad faith arguments. Nazis use them all the time. So yeah, the Republican Party is the Nazi Party of America. That's what it's come to at this point. The Republican Party, they've been asked by tons of the senators have been asked by reporters, is it okay, is it acceptable for the President of the United States to solicit the aid of a foreign nation to help him win the election? They ask every senator, GOP senator, every Republican, they ask him this, and none of the Republicans will answer. They will not answer. Because, clearly, under the rule of law, no, it's not acceptable. However, they no longer believe in the rule of law. They believe in the rule of power. So they believe might makes right. So if Trump has the power, whatever he does is okay. Right? That's fascist thinking. That's what a fascist says. That's what a Nazi says. But they're the Nazi Party now. That's what they endorse. They said they're all about power. They don't care about truth. It's all about power. Or, they don't care about law. It's all about power. Because they see that American law is not valid. Nazis don't look at Nazis, Republicans, whatever, they don't look at American law as being valid. Because American law doesn't conform to what they think is true. What they think is true, remember the Nazi thinking. It goes God, Confederate thinking. It goes God, white man, and then under them, white women. And then everyone else. So if American law doesn't support their idea, then they say this law is invalid. It doesn't apply. So Republicans are abandoning the rule of law for the rule of power. And when you do that, you've also have to give up truth. So that's why they all confuse matters. They want to put Jim Jordan on the Intelligence Committee. They just want to. The Republicans decided they wanted to put Jim Jordan on the Intelligence Committee because Jim Jordan is a representative who is nothing but a walking distraction. He just distracts. His whole point is to make problems to muddy the waters. He's really good at muddying the water because he's like really loud and brash and oh yeah, and no sense of shame. He's a total, absolute thrall. He's a slave to Donald Trump. He will debase himself, humiliate himself for Donald Trump. Yep. So that's why the Republicans want him on the Intelligence Committee. So when the impeachment trial starts, which is next Wednesday, 1 week from today, be there, guys. When that happens, then he can mess it up. That's his whole raison d'etre. So a whole bunch of stuff is going down. Republicans are Nazis. But we knew this. Oh, pardon me. All right. I was saying Republicans are Nazis. Donald Trump is evil. Republicans are aiding and abetting Donald Trump and their traitors. Rand Paul is fully on board with Russia. He hand-delivered a letter to Putin from Trump. Did you know that? Yep. Like last year, he flew to Russia to hand-deliver a handwritten letter. Well, I don't know, handwritten, but hand-deliver a letter to Putin. So nobody could find it. No hacker can get it off the internet. So Putin and Rand Paul, I think, was in Russia for the 4th of July. So Rand Paul is totally on Team Russia. And what was he doing? Oh yeah, he was saying that. Oh yeah, I'm going to break the law and expose the whistleblower. Because he doesn't remember. Rand Paul is a white supremacist, so he doesn't believe in American law. He believes in white supremacy law. And so he was going to be like, yeah, I don't care about the whistleblower law. I'm going to break it because I don't like America. I like Russia. And so so Rand Paul spread out the name of what he says is the whistleblower, and then the Russian media picked it up and blew it up all over the place. So yeah, for sure Rand Paul works for Russia. Well, so does Trump, right? I bet Jim Jordan works for Russia too. Mitch McConnell, yeah, dude. Mitch McConnell, he's got all these Russian oligarchs were sanctioned, and then Trump has been trying to take the sanctions off these Russian oligarchs. That's his end of the bargain. He has to take the sanctions off. And yeah, when the sanctions came off, Mitch McConnell made deals with them to invest like millions and millions of dollars into Kentucky. Mitch McConnell bringing home the Russian bacon or pork. But big things happened in Mitch McConnell's state. Big things happened. They just had an election, and the guy that Trump hugged, diamonds. The guy that Trump hugged, the Republican that Trump hugged, lost to a Democrat. Ha ha ha. So they haven't had a Democratic governor in a long time. So that's pretty cool. The other cool thing about it is that this governor is going to restore voting rights for a whole bunch of people that have been disenfranchised. So remember, Republicans and Confederates and Nazis, they don't believe in the legitimacy of democracy. They don't believe that the power rests in the people. They believe that the power should rest with the elites and that the people shouldn't have any say. So they're not really that keen on democracy. They do whatever they can to stop democracy. We can see this being played out in Kentucky. Kentucky is a very dark red state. So the laws there reflect, and the voting restrictions reflect that makeup. Like, there's severe restrictions on voting. Kentucky doesn't want you to vote. They don't make it easy to vote. And if you mess up in any way, they will take away your right to vote. So that means if you have a police record, or if you have like a felon or something, a felony, Kentucky will take away your right to vote forever. You can never, ever, ever vote ever again in Kentucky if you're a felon. So, well, you might think, oh, whatever, that's fine and good. But then remember, well, then who's the ones who are most likely to be felons? Black men. Well, why? Are black men more criminal? No, but they're a lot more. But the police are a lot more focused on black men, and poverty happens to hang out a lot more around black men due to structural racism, and crime and poverty are related. So in a way, it's like you're setting them up for failure. Kentucky has set up black men to be disenfranchised and not have a voice in Kentucky's civil society and political society. Well, this new Democratic governor, is going to restore their rights to the right to vote, and I think they're doing that in a lot of other places, other states, which is great because you want people to be voting in a democracy. The power is invested in the people in our country, so you want the people to be heard and to vote and to exercise their right, because that shows a powerful and vibrant democracy. And when you restrict democracy, you take away power from the people, and you instead give it to the elites. Who are the ones that would want to do that? Oh, that's right, Confederates, the Confederacy, white supremacists. That's what they want to do. They don't believe in democracy. They believe in power only. That's why they're the enemy of the United States. So remember, Donald Trump is going to call upon these people and their cult members. So they're pretty crazy. Their head is damaged. So when we remove Donald, he's going to call upon them to rise up and save him. And there's enough of them they're crazy enough. They're so deep in the cult that they might do it. And of course, there's so many more of us than them. Of course, there's no way that they're ever gonna get off anything. Like, they might get a one-off terrorist attack, but there's not nearly enough of them compared to us. But that's the problem. That's still a terrorist attack that he's gonna set off. I don't want anyone to get hurt, and Donald Trump is gonna try to hurt Americans. And he's going to send his army to hurt Americans. His cult army to hurt Americans. I guarantee you. He is not leaving willingly. And he's not leaving easily. He's going to make this hurt. And we kind of deserve it. Actually, no, we don't deserve it. That's not right. We don't deserve this. No one deserves this. So yeah, digging. While talking about stuff. Right, my duder? So hey, let's get the music going louder, so you can chill with me, guys. What else went on? Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan has had bad water for so long that it's starting to affect their kids in school. So this is like a travesty. Like a whole generation of kids has been affected, been poisoned, and the United States has done nothing. Like, what the hell is wrong with our country? This is like insane to think about. It's insane to think that we can poison a whole city and be like, oh well, that's crazy. That's like on par with like Black Wall Street getting burned down. Like, I can't believe it that we would let it get to this point. There's private schools or I'm not private schools. There's like institutions set up just for these kids to get help because they've been poisoned and the government has done nothing. Like, I can't. Oh my God, it makes me sick. That's an example of white supremacy. See, for white supremacy, it doesn't matter. The little people don't matter to white supremacists. What matters are the elite. So this kind of issue of poisoned kids doesn't affect the elites. So white supremacists don't care. White supremacists only care about the elites. And if you're not an elite, or if you don't serve the elite, then you're nothing. You're not worth their consideration. That's why white supremacists are dangerous. That's why they're the antithesis of our country. And that's why white supremacists are also Nazis, also called Nazis. Nazis are bad, are our enemy. Those are the enemy. And you'll be surprised how many Nazis are all around you. I mean, they're not full-on Nazis, but they have Nazi tendencies. So many people. What else is going down? Oh, okay. Yeah. So remember when okay, so Donald Trump stole the presidency and he got into power. And when he got into power, he started abusing his power like right away. Like right away. First thing he did was abuse power. And what he wanted to do was consolidate power. He knew that the intelligence committee knew that he was a fraud, that he got in illegitimately. He knows that they know. So he looked at the intelligence committee as his enemy. Because they know he's a fake. They know Donald Trump is a fake president. So he has to attack them and wage war on them. But he still needs the intelligence. Well, not him so much as like his friends. His friends need the intelligence of the United States for their own nefarious deeds. So Donald Trump wanted to get his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, into having top secret clearance, to have access to like really good information. But the problem is that Jared Kushner couldn't pass. He couldn't pass the test. Every time he failed. He couldn't get clearance. He was not a safe person to give top secret clearance. He wasn't safe. He just was not safe. So what did Donald Trump do? Donald Trump overrode everybody because he is president. He can do it. He overrode everybody to force top secret information for Jared Kushner. So Trump compromised the intelligence committee to get his son-in-law on board the top secret information. Then, once Jared had top secret information, he started schmoozing around with Muhammad Bin Salman. Now, Muhammad Bin Salman is the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, and he's a pretty evil dude. He murders people all the time. He's just evil, and he looks all slick and smooth, but so is the devil, right? So, like, the devil doesn't look ugly. That's crazy. The devil is super slick, super smooth, looks beautiful. Well, appears. He appears to be that way. So yeah, Muhammad Bin Salman looks to be a pretty cool, smooth guy, but what happens is Muhammad Bin Salman is a dictator. He's a tyrant. So, like a white supremacist, he cannot abide by truth. The truth will burn him. It will destroy him. Like, he's supposed to be the guardian of Islam, but I think he's actually really bad for Islam. He's terrible for it. he makes it really bad for Muslims everywhere. And here, let me show you why. Because inside Saudi Arabia, women are treated like crap. It's terrible. They're like slaves, and Saudi Arabia imports a lot of labor, and so I have a friend from the UAE, and this friend explained to me the social hierarchy inside the UAE. And inside the UAE, it goes number one top. I mean, they have this pyramid that I'm telling you about. Like, this person inside the UAE was describing this pyramid to me. There's the social structure, and the social structure is Arabs on top, and all the Arabs get a stipend of money somehow. So they're never at the very, very bottom. I mean, some Arabs are better than others, of course, but Arabs are always at the top. Then under Arabs are Brits, the UK, British. And then under the British are Americans. And then under Americans are, I don't know, like the working classes. And she started, and my source started listing like Pakistan, India, Filipino, as sources of imported labor and the lowest rung on the social ladder of the social hierarchy. And we already know about foreign help being mistreated and treated like a slave inside their societies. So I mean, there's support for it. I'm not saying that the United States is perfect, no, but we can say it, and there's lots of us fighting against it. I mean, there's lots of Arabs fighting against it too. Right? There's a lot of Arabs who are fighting against the oppression of the House of Saud inside Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of Arabs fighting it. One of those Arabs was a man by the name of Jamal Khashoggi. I can never get his name right. I have to hear it maybe. Jamal Khashoggi. Khashoggi or Khashoggi? Alright, Khashoggi. This guy is a reporter, and he reported upon the brutal conditions inside of Saudi Arabia, the oppression inside of Saudi Arabia. Well, Muhammad Bin Salman didn't like what Jamal was saying. And Jamal knew this, so Jamal ran away. And Jamal ran to America. And America, America's about liberty. The United States is about liberty. You have the right to free speech. The government can't stop you from speaking. So yeah, come on down. You can hang out here. Well, when Jared Kushner got access to top secret information, he was able to find Jamal Khashoggi and follow his movements. And then he fed this information to Muhammad Bin Salman. And then Muhammad Bin Salman sent a bunch of his assassins over to kill Jamal Khashoggi in Turkey with bone saws to cut him up while he was alive. I mean, and there's a recording of it because Jamal Khashoggi called someone and left a voicemail with all of this information, with him screaming in pain. So this has already happened. So Muhammad Bin Salman, who does nothing to help Islam or Muslims, is an enemy of Islam. Muhammad Bin Salman is an enemy of Islam. And this guy is chopping up people because he got top secret information from Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner, because Donald Trump forced Jared Kushner into having position into the position of having access to top secret information. Like, it's insane. I'm like it's just crazy. Like, what's going on? Okay, so what's the latest revelations from that? Just today, we found out that the Justice Department, or the California, I think it was California, the California AG, arrested two Twitter employees because they were looking up the information, the personal information of a bunch of Saudi dissidents that live here in the United States. They're doing this so they could feed the information back to Muhammad Bin Salman, and then Muhammad Bin Salman can send assassins to go murder them again. Because according to fascists, they're not allowed to be able to speak the truth. That's why Muhammad Bin Salman is an enemy of the United States. But so is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the enemy of the United States too. And you can see why. Because they are opposed to the rule of law. And Americans are beholden by the rule of law and to the rule of law, because the rule of law is what protects us and sets up the standards. Oh man. And it gives legitimacy to the government, and the government gets its power from the people. La la la, alright. Alright! Take some cobblestone. Ditch some more cobblestone. Alright, that's enough. I need to go back. Oop. La 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 la. So what else is going on? I'm out of food. Oh, I gotta go home. I'm out of food. Let's see what else is going on. Saudi spies. Yeah, so now that Mohammed bin Salman feels he can bribe his way into the United States, they're sending their spies throughout us. And that's just gross. That's gross. That some foreign government could just use our networks for their own nefarious ends. I mean, it's gross. It feels violating. Just put this away real quick. I'm out of cobblestone. Look at that. Lost. Dude, I'm really low on everything. Oh, geez, I gotta go like dig up more stuff here at my home base. Why am I carrying paper? Ah, that's good enough for now. All right. And back here. What time is it? Man, you haven't even gone 45 minutes. All right. Oh, Keep going with your righteous anger. Low-key anger. Alright. Hey, dude, what's up? What do you got for sale? Oh, yeah, nothing good. Golem's still spawning here. One, two, three. 1, 2. Have to put a new one over there. All right, what else is going on? Yeah, I don't want to go there. Let's see. Bugs disappearing. Yeah. Virginia had a whole bunch of turned blue. The whole thing flipped. Virginia. Congratulations, Virginia. I think that's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be. I mean, that's a sign, I think, of things to come. Like, but we need to have this overwhelming victory because the Russians are basically inside already in our election system. We need to switch. Virginia had hand-marked paper ballots, which is the best way to go for security, because nobody can mess with anything when you do it that way. But if you use just purely electronic voting machines that can't be audited, yeah, you're asking to get hacked. I think that's what happened to Georgia. I think that's what happened to North Carolina. I think that's what happened to Florida. Like, a bunch of places. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So. Oh. Here, no, I want to go over here. Need to make a. I don't know. Yeah, so I cleared the ridge of trees, and I made a little cow farm over here. Yeah, I gotta clear out that little bit, and then maybe that ridge over there, and then I'll have this whole thing cleared off of trees. Then I can build up here instead of down there, out of the swamp instead of in the swamp. Okay, what else we got? I don't know, I'm tired. My righteous rage to nobody in particular is wearing thin, or wearing out. So, all right, guys, next week and gals, next week we have the first open impeachment hearing session committee, whatever. So I'm sure we'll have more to talk about. All right, stay frosty, guys. Peace. Oh, PoGokeRo out. Stop.